Oh boys, today is a day we are starting on a mission that is going to be super important, and it's probably going to take a while, but I'm hoping that it's easy and I'm hoping I'm able to do it. This is going to prove whether I'm a good driver, a bad driver, or a crappy driver. We are starting Project Gundam, my Honda Civic, and we're going to be pushing this thing to its limits because the #1 goal today is to start getting this thing ready for a 10-second pass. I don't care if it's a 10-2, a 10-3, a 10-4, and so on. If I get into the 10s, this mission has been a success. Currently, the setup has a stock clutch, a stock oil pump, stock cam gear, and we're gonna be making everything new. We're gonna replace the stock clutch with an aftermarket Ironman clutch. We're gonna be installing a cam gear, a 4-piston oil pump. I literally have everything over here, so I'm just gonna show you. We have an action clutch. Here's the part number if you need it. This is called the Ironman clutch, and it should be able to hold around 600 horsepower. I'm looking around 500, so that should be perfectly fine. We have a 4-piston oil pump kit right here. It comes with a timing chain and everything like that. I still have to order the cam gear, but I think we need to start with just pulling all of this out, doing the clutch, doing the oil pump, and we'll move on. Now we have to remove the intercooler because we want to remove the front end. We're completely replacing it with a tubular one. Intercooler it is, and then the front end, I don't even know how I'm going to remove this. I think I might chisel it out, honestly, but intercooler, let's do it. Now let's remove the intercooler piping so we can get to this one. So these are just a couple of 12s. I literally had one bolt holding everything together. And now you should be able to pull it off. There we go, carbon fender off. And at this point, all we have to do is remove like little miscellaneous things like brackets and then the radiator, and that's it. The whole front end is ready to come out. So super stoked. Let's just start removing random things at this point. Now it's time to just start cutting the frame. I'm gonna cut it in all sorts of places and hopefully we don't mess it up, but yeah, now it's time to start cutting this thing, and I already started and I feel like crying. Dude, it's hard cutting this off, but I know it's a must, so let's start cutting it. Well, as you can see, just a little bit of grinding. This side is completely off. Now I gotta go finish the other side, and then the whole front end should completely come off. And now that the front end is completely off, we're gonna remove everything holding this engine to this chassis. So the harness, the mounts, the hood exits, the shifter cables, and that is about it. So we're just gonna start removing everything. At this point, you guys have probably seen hundreds of removing engine videos, so I'm just gonna remove it and then I'll show you what it looks like. And just like that, we are officially done. Engine, transmission is completely out. We have a very empty engine bay as you can see here, but I call this a success. We finished everything. Tomorrow's mission, and you guys will see it in this video, we're gonna replace the clutch, we're gonna replace the oil pump, and we're also going to replace the timing chain and gear. So this thing is going to make 500 horsepower, 600 horsepower, and we're gonna change everything to E85. This thing is going to be a monster. Now that the engine is off or out of the Civic, today's mission is to take the transmission out because we are going to be installing my brand new clutch. This is actually from Action Clutch. I think I paid like $700 for this clutch slash flywheel combination here. This is called the Ironman, and it's supposed to hold anywhere from 500 to 600 horsepower, and that's exactly what we want to run in the Civic because I want a 10-second pass. I need anywhere from 500 to 600 horsepower to get into the 10s, and this should be more than capable enough reliably to hold 500 to 600 horsepower, which is what I want to do. So now, enough talking, let's start removing the transmission. Transmission is now off, and now let's remove this crusty, musty, dusty clutch and flywheel, and let's install the new one.
Oops, that came off.
And just like that, the clutch and flywheel are completely off. I'm definitely going to keep this for a future project because the clutch is actually in really good shape. So is the flywheel. I guess I didn't push it too hard. I knew this was gonna slip, so I decided just to swap it over. So yeah, this thing is ready to go. The rear main seal is not leaking, so I'm not gonna touch it. We're just gonna throw the new clutch, new flywheel on, and this thing should make enough, or the new clutch should be good enough to make a ton of power. So now, let's install the new one. Now that we removed the clutch, we need to install the new one. The new one is right here. This is actually called an Ironman clutch. It's from Action Clutch, and it's rated from anywhere to 500 to 600 horsepower. This should be more than enough, more capable to get me into the 10s. And if we're replacing the clutch, we're also going to be installing this Lion flywheel, which weighs absolutely nothing. This one's also from Action Clutch. So now, enough talking. Let's throw them on. And just like that, the new throw bearing is in, and this thing is ready to hold a ton of power. Dude, woo, we're almost done, boys. Oil pump is next. Oh man, this thing is ready to eat. And a couple hours later, the engine is now on an engine stand, and we kind of have to stop here. My goal was to install my brand new 4-piston oil pump, which is in here. But if you have ever owned a Honda or know anything about Hondas, you would know how crazy ridiculously hard it is to remove this freaking bolt. I can't remove the crank bolt, so I'm kind of stuck here. In the meantime, I want to show you something I bought yesterday. I did not want to spend the money on this, if I'm being honest, but I saw an opportunity to double, triple, or quadruple my money, and I took it. I ended up finding a really perfect condition MR2. Probably the best looking MR2 I've ever seen in my life. And I got this car dirt cheap. I paid $2,300 for this car. Let me just show you what I bought. And here we have it. This right here is the most perfect MR2 I've ever frickin' seen. I'm in love with this car, and I got it for $2,300. Like, holy cow. And if you hear that, yes, it runs. It runs. This thing is so stock. Runs like a kitten, purrs like a kitten, I think is a saying. This thing is so perfect. Everything's OEM. It's never been touched in its life. Like, dude, I'm so excited to start modifying this. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. I don't know if I'm gonna flip it. I honestly don't know. All I know is I can't lose my money with this. Everything's OEM. The paint is amazing, like perfect. It's dirty. It's been sitting underneath a tree, but underneath all this grime and stuff, the paint is absolutely perfect. Stock wheels, has never been touched. Stock bumper, stock OEM lip. Like, is it weird that a stock car is now cool? It is also not T-topped. And if you know anything about MR2s, T-tops are the most common MR2s. This one is a sunroof, which makes it even rarer. The only problem with the sunroof is the fact that it does have a crack from sitting in the sun. I think the only damage with this car is things that it actually got from sitting. Everything else is absolutely beautiful. You can kind of see the glare of the paint. The paint is immaculate, blue interior. Like, it doesn't get better than this. Now, hopefully, the inside has blue door panels, and the only problems we have in the inside is the fact that a couple of trim pieces are broken, like this one, because of the sun. We have a couple cracks on the dash. Hopefully you guys can see it right there. The seats, I have no idea what's up with these seats. They don't even belong to this car. This car is supposed to have blue seats. Beautiful interior. It's dirty, but it's all there. How do I open my trunk? I have one and I don't even know. There we go. Okay, trunk is open. And like I said again, absolutely beautiful. This car with a nice little wash, a nice little vacuum, will bring top dollar. All the gaps are amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful car. Only con is the fact that this is automatic, but I could care less. I even have all the trim pieces to replace and make this thing absolutely a gem. We do want to replace these seats. I'm just gonna restore this car for now, and whether I decide to sell it or whatnot, that depends. But for now, we're gonna restore it, bring it back to life, make it nice and beautiful. It's already nice and beautiful, but we're gonna make it a little bit better, and we're gonna start today. Let's go home because I have a special gift for this. You're probably thinking, oh God, what is this kid gonna do to this perfect MR2? Well, the first mod is actually gonna be something that I actually got for free because it came with a car I've already had, and I think it's gonna look so good on this car. Wheels, yes sir, we are going to be installing brand new wheels or tires on my budget Barn Find MR2. These wheels were free because it came off my other MR2, and I already did this side. I think it looks absolutely amazing. Now let's install these two, and let's see what this car is gonna look like. So far, I think it looks pretty good. Step one, you literally come to the car and you yoink this. Side note, the undercarriage of this car is absolutely beautiful. No rust, super clean. Still has, what's it called, the undercoating on the bottom of the car as well. Full of spider webs, but besides that, looks really good under here, man. Super stoked. Well, boys, I just took the MR2 for a drive, and this thing drives amazing, dude. I'm so stoked. This thing looks good, it drives good, and yes, these are not the perfect wheels for this car, but they are definitely a lot better than the old ones. I don't know, what do you guys think? I personally think it looks so much better, and I could definitely ask a decent amount of money for this car because it looks absolutely beautiful. Look at this thing. Dude, the Barn Find MR2 is so freaking sick. And now I'm tired, so I'm gonna end the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. The next couple of days, we're gonna try to get the Civic ready. We're gonna pick up my truck, and we're gonna keep continuing on restoring the MR2 because this thing is coming out so good. We'll see you guys next time.